What's going on? And thanks for checking out To Be Continued With. I'm Mike, and we're breaking down the third season of The Mandalorian on Disney+. So, if you are new here, please make sure to subscribe and hit that bell so that you can always know when we are putting out our latest and greatest content. And to our returning viewers, get ready for another installment by me and another great track to go along with our breakdown from none other than Catt the Legend. So, you know how we do here. Let's kick things off by queuing up that intro and getting things started. Once again, I just want to say thanks for clicking on To Be Continued With. And let's get right into things because this week's episode starts off in space as we see a ship full of Quarians, which are more commonly known as squid heads within the Star Wars universe. Mind you, that's actually considered a derogatory term, but neither here nor there, the ship is intercepted by Bo-Katan's old crew, the Night Owls. They've been hired to return a prince that's on the squid head's ship, due to a Romeo and Juliet type of situation. You see, the captain of this ship and the prince are totally in love, and that's something that the prince's parents are not too thrilled about. From there, we get our title for this chapter, and it's chapter 22, Guns for Hire. And we end up going right into catching up with Din, Bo, and Grogu. We actually see them approach a planet, and when they get close enough, the ship is brought in remotely by the folks that run this planet because they need to be on the safe side. And get this, the folks that run this planet are none other than Jack Black and Lizzo. Yep, you heard me correctly. You heard exactly what I said. Jack Black and Lizzo are in the Star Wars universe, and they're hosting a big dinner for some guests. To give you some background, Jack's character is an ex-Imperial officer who charmed the Duchess, obviously played by Lizzo, and now they run her planet, which is named Plaisir 15. Jack plays Captain Bombardier, and since he's an ex-Imperial officer, obviously, my man's got a record. And the planet is not allowed to have a military, which is why they actually hired Bo-Katan's old crew, and now that crew is led by Axe Woves as the planet's muscle. Now, Bo asks if she can meet with them, and the four of them end up taking a walk, just so the Duchess and the Captain can tell them about a particular problem that they have. It seems that the droids that are on this planet have been glitching out and causing some major issues for the citizens of Plaisir 15. You see, these droids are all ex-battle droids from the prequel movies and are acting up in a crazy-ass way. Now, due to some small technicalities, Bo's old crew isn't allowed within the city because weapons aren't allowed. But since Bo and Din are individuals and Mandalorian religion says that they have to stay packing, Jack and Lizzo invite them in and ask for their help. It's here that we get another addition to the Star Wars universe. Christopher Lloyd. That's right, the man from Back to the Future, Taxi, and Who Framed Roger Rabbit fame. And if you don't know any of those movies, Google it, because he plays the security commissioner, Hellgate. Now, he brings Din and Bo up to speed on the malfunctioning droids, and he also tells them that he can't shut them down with the press of a button because the citizens on this planet have gotten lazy. I mean, they've gotten used to having droids do everything for them, and they basically won't even know how to survive or do anything for themselves without the help of these droids. Now, from there, Bo and Din make their way to the lower levels of the planet and speak with a group of Ugnaughts. Now, this race first appeared in the original trilogy, The Empire Strikes Back to be more specific, when we actually saw Chewie trying to locate a broken down C-3PO. But here, this group of Ugnaughts are working on some droids and actually pay no attention to Din and Bo until Din states that he is a friend of Quill, who actually appeared in Season 1. Now, they end up speaking about the malfunctioning droids, and after some back and forth, the Ugnaughts give Bo and Din a device that will help them locate a list of droids that they're looking for. Now, at a loading dock, we end up seeing the droids working, and Din starts fucking with some of the bulkier battle droids just to see what happens. And after kicking one of them to the ground, the droid actually gets up, backhands him, and makes a run for it. A chase happens through the city, and Bo and Din end up splitting up to capture him, and they take him out with their blasters right after Din tackles him. Now they find a clue on the droid, which leads our two protagonists to a bar that's specifically made for droids, and they basically shut down the place, they lock it down, and they start asking questions. Now remember that Din doesn't really like droids since they killed his blood family and led to him being saved and raised by the Mandalorians when he was a kid, basically making him a foundling. Now, he's playing the role of bad cop while Bo plays the role of good cop, and they try to figure things out and find out what the hell exactly is going on. Now, it seems that the droids are worried about being replaced by humans, and the bartender droid actually helps out Bo and Din. It informs them that all the malfunctioning droids seem to be ordered from the same place, and that they have all been drinking the same batch of Nepenthe. Now, you're probably scratching your head and asking yourself, what's Nepenthe? Well, that's a great question. And the survey says, ding, it's a drink. To be more specific, it's a liquid that the droids take in, and it's used to reprogram them and keep the droids updated with their new programming. Now, Bo and Din then go to check out the battle droid that they fought and took down earlier in the episode, and they begin to inspect it at a droid center. Now, another droid that's helping out the lab assistant basically starts going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and starts shooting at them along with everything in the lab. I mean, it goes haywire. Din pulls out the Darksaber and slices the little thing in half. Now, the lab assistant is shot down, not dead, but wounded. And she finds out that the Nepenthe has nanotech in it, basically containing a code similar to Order 66, which was implanted in the clone troopers in Revenge of the Sith. Now, it's here that we find out that Security Commissioner Helgate was the one who ordered these droids. And mind you, he did so illegally. Now, Bo and Din confront him, and he threatens to unleash all the droids on the planet with the push of a button. That said, he can shut down the whole place, and he goes on a rant. I mean, literally, he starts rambling off about how Count Dooku was right, and he was a visionary before he was assassinated, which honestly is a cool throwback to the prequels again, but Bo-Katan kind of looks at him, has this look on her face like, fuck this, takes him out while he's giving his evil monologue speech with an electric-type dart. He's brought to the Duchess and the Captain, and he's sentenced to live in exile on one of the planet's moons. Now, the Duchess takes the time to thank Bo and Din by presenting them with the key to the planet. And since he's been babysitting baby Grogu, or baby Yoda, whatever you want to call him, because he literally helped her out during one of her royal games and gave her a perfect score while using the Force, now, she's obviously taking a liking to the little guy and ends up making him a knight of the Ancient Order of Independent Regencies. I have no idea what that means, but sounds cool. Now, more importantly, she ends up setting up that meeting that Bo-Katan asked for with the Night Owls. Now, before, I did mention that Axe Woves is the new leader of the Night Owls, and he doesn't want to give up command so easily, so he challenges Bo-Katan. Or actually, let me rewind that. Bo-Katan challenges him, and he accepts, and the fight begins. Now, they start throwing kicks, punches. They're using their jetpacks, their knives, basically everything that is in their arsenal. The crew looks on as Bo-Katan comes out on top as the victor. Honestly, they still don't respect her though. So Din steps in and ends up handing her the Darksaber, since whoever wields it will lead the Mandalorians. This is the way. Now, he explains to them how she rescued him a while back, and states that since she was able to defeat an enemy that defeated him, that makes her the rightful wielder of the Darksaber. Star Wars logic, I mean, they're going back and forth on things, but remember, this all took place a couple of episodes back on Mandalore when Din took on that cyber spider crab thingy. Now, the Night Owls acknowledge what's going on here, and our episode ends up coming to an end. And I gotta say, this was an alright chapter. I mean, not as bad as the Dr. Pershing one, but kind of like the last episode, where it was more of a filler that explores what's going on with all the Mandalorians and them coming together. And like I mentioned in our last breakdown, there are only a few episodes left. I mean, 2 to be exact. And I honestly don't think that they're going to be able to wrap up what's been going on. So I'm guessing that soon there will be an announcement for a 4th season. Now, seeing Lizzo and Jack Black was a good surprise. I mean, seeing as how well they played their roles, and now knowing that they are actually part of the Star Wars universe is something that seems very, very interesting. Christopher Lloyd, another great surprise. And his character was dropping some old names and dropping some old stories about what came before in this universe. It was also an added bonus. Now, two other things that you might not know about this episode, but the prince from Mon Cali in the beginning of the episode was actually voiced by Harry Holland, who is the younger brother of our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. That's right, Tom Holland's brother is now in the Star Wars universe. Also, another cool-ass Jeopardy fact is the voice that was used to check Din and Bo's credentials when they arrived on the planet and riding on the Tran is the voice of Padme Amidala from the Clone Wars animated series. Now, honestly, I can't remember her name at the moment, so if you know it, please leave it in the comments. Also, I really hope that they do announce another season so we don't get a rushed finish with the next 2 episodes. But with this episode, some things really did grind my gears. For example, seeing the droids being scared of being replaced by humans, drinking in a bar, it was all kind of silly, even though it was explained and shown how it's done. But it's annoying. What's really been getting to me is the lack of Grogu being a bigger presence and part of this season. Now, I know that I can't be alone in thinking this, because even though he's in the show, he's not really a factor to what's been going on. And it's a bit frustrating since the whole series and adventure started and was built around him and Din's relationship. Now, I don't want to go on a rant, but please take the time to let us know what you think about this particular episode and installment of The Mandalorian, and also tell us if you're enjoying the show. Hell, tell us if you even hate the show. Just help us grow, and make sure that you subscribe and you ring that bell so you can join us for our next breakdown. Also, don't forget that in the description, you can see our past breakdowns of Mandalorian Season 3, as well as the links for Bobcat the Legend's YouTube and Spotify pages. Once there, you can also check out today's hot track, which is called Streetlights, along with all the other tracks that have been featured on this channel, along with so many other cool hits that will honestly keep you vibing, because even though he's got everything going on over there, he's helping out this channel. And even though our breakdown is now coming to an end, just remember, this channel is simply to be continued.